Welcome back to another episode of our Fab24 podcast series. I am Camila.
My name is Diego.
And today we're excited to have Eric Pan with us today. Woo!
Hola, amigos.
Yeah, he's the founder and CEO of Set Studio, joining us as a pioneer of interacting cutting-edge technology with like IDIT or AI, blockchain into the world of digital fabrication. So we are really excited to have you here. It's such a pleasure. So Eric, how are you today?
Very tired and excited. You see, after 2 days of Fab Lab, all the events, talks, workshops, and parties, it has been quite exhausting, but I'm very looking forward to see what's coming next.
So I wanted to ask and tell us a little bit more about Set Studio, please.
A little bit. We have done too many things. So, see, the studio started in 2008. I used to be a maker from my childhood all the way to my universities, and then I decided to do something more interesting, like as a maker for makers. So we start to do open source modules around Arduino, Raspberry Pi. Then we start to make more devices, IoT solutions, AI. So we also organize the maker fairs in Shenzhen, and we have a maker space from 2012. So we have been in this industry so long, but I'm so excited to keep the passion by working with more young makers like you.
Oh, no, thank you so much. Actually, we really big fans of Set Studio for a long time. You know, we love your products and how it helps us to make really cool projects, right?
Yeah, and we want to other question. In your experience for Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, all the products you make, like for example, you have it with us, what do you think is the best option to use for the maker moment? For the people, is going to be creating his house, when his maker space, Fab Labs.
I think there's never a best option, because there's always better option, and there's always a cantering to the reality progress of the solution. So I think the best solution is keep learning, keep understanding of the new possibilities. But stick to open source, try to share it, because we are already in a very, booming business model versus the traditional ones. I think through this we can have more collective power. And the best tools is easiest tool is a tool everybody uses. So there's no best option.
Yeah, and I think 100% you celebrate a lot of innovation, being able to have all this product as open source and this mindset of collaboration. And I think during the parties, which has been great here at Fab24, we were discussing this part of learning, and it's as part of learning, you have to create an experience, experiment, and actually collaborate, right? It's part of that process. So I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
At least I love it.
I love it because these parts work together. And what is one of most your favorite projects you see or you make?
You mean for the Fab24 or my lifetime?
I think lifetime, man.
Oh, it's too big project, too big a question. There's so many wonderful things, like well, there are too many of them. I think for recently we are very excited about first two things. First is about science. Like how can we use open source to contribute to science equipment? Because that's a beginning of many industry. Like many years ago, X-ray is initiated by Curie creating the experiment in the lab, then becoming an industry. So we are very actively supporting open source science. Like I think for this event we have OpenCU2. It's like an optical modular system for a variety of science equipment, including quantum physics, like in the keynote yesterday. And there was a second thing we are caring about is hazard response. Like how can we use IoT solutions or the open source gadgets to really save lives or to have more responsive measures after the disaster is happening or before it's happening. And it involves all kinds of technologies, including all the possible technology we can use, from sensors to edge computing, from AI to like robots. So I think we need a lot of these meaningful scenarios. I'm not that interested in interesting projects. I'm more interested in like useful projects these days.
Yeah, I think it's really important, and we see it here at Fab24, right? Like how important are these spaces as Fab Labs, and not just the space, but actually the community and making impact and all that feedback that comes the two ways around, the creator and the person who's going to use it, and even the person who's going to use it, it's helping to develop technology, it's helping to develop that solution. I think it brought me back to the Fab City Challenge, right? It was some days ago, as part of the Fab Festival, they were showing these projects that they developed for a week, right? As part of trying to impact the communities here in Mexico. What was your favorite part about this? I mean, talking about creating projects that actually make impact, right?
Yeah, I think my favorite part of it is evolvement. Like Fab City Challenge started 3 years ago, and we were challenging each other. Can we make something useful? Can we really resolve some problems? So 3 years ago from Bali, we have the first try, and everybody except this spend a few days. And the real scenarios, go out of your Fab Lab, go out of your comfort zone to where the problems really are and undertaken care of. And second year was in Bhutan. We are one of the most digitalized country in the world. And it's getting much better because people travel a lot to the remote areas with a very strong diversity. And this year, I think it's becoming like even like one floor higher versus the last 2 times. And the people really work with the local community, people work with the local NGO. People look at existing problems and try to apply a new technology level over that. And the results are awesome. It's like you put the best makers together for 7 days, shake them, and inspire them. The output is like people are racing with their life, with their energies. And the results are totally awesome.
Yeah, I think definitely foster creativity, collaboration, and this mindset that we all share of, or actually making something useful. And I think we see it as part of the things we do at Moonmakers. We need to make not just projects that show you how to use different devices. We need to make it with a project and see it how it's impacting real life and how it's impacting everybody's lives, right? What do you think?
I think you have an amazing experience to work with communities, like your experience, you say, to work with Fab City. But I want to know, what is your advice for all these people who start to make projects or want to inspire to others?
Yeah, I think if I can give one advice, is go out of your makerspace, go out of your Fab Lab, go to the real scenarios. So I think after that, you see all the meanings of your creation, you see all the challenges, you see all the drives you need to learn how to master more skill sets to really help the problem.
Yeah, I think when it comes to technology, we sometimes forgot that it's not just it's just a tool, right? And we don't look to the bigger picture, which is who is going to be using it, who's going to. And I think it's something that at Set Studio you do really well, because at least for us, we really love how it's solving problems at the time of making projects, and you're giving it access to more tools. And because of that, I want you to talk with us about what you bring to the bot. What is that?
Well, we have 2 things out of the many things, and these 2 are not available in the market yet. First is a tracker. It's actually a mesh-tastic device and has sensors in it about temperature, lightness, and also it has a panic button. And yesterday we have a workshop, people has thinking of idea of internet of a grandpa. It's like your grandpa get lost, how do you get track of them? If we are in the wild, there's no good coverage, like in the farms, how can you keep the safety of people? So mesh-tastic is an open source software protocol. And we are making an open source reference design for that. And you can put more sensors to it. So it will very easily to establish some communication when there is off-grid. And you can use it for hazard, for explorations, for hiking. So I think this is quite a revolutionary technology. And it's creating a new wave. But majority of the makers don't see this yet. And the second thing is called Watcher. We have been doing AI for many years and starting all the tiny machine learnings to large language models to deploy it in the edge. Now we're stitching them together and put it into this small device. And we are thinking people need to bring their large language model usage to the real field, from themselves to their surroundings, to make spaces, machines more smarter. You can actually talk to it to train it with your command. And the first step is to build a reference design to bridge between the real world. You have cameras, sensors, has speakers and microphones, so it can talk to you. Then we need all the possibilities and the orchestration with large language models on the end. And I don't know, it's quite new, and our engineers had a hard time how to do this thing. You are not like having something. You are not creating a better AI tool. You are creating a new AI tool. So I think this is the farthest we can do for now. But we are inviting more makers to explore the possibilities. Yeah. So these are the two things we are very excited about. Yeah.
I think it's quite interesting, and please, I think it's something to look forward because all the devices, how you say, it's part of the process, or like trying to communicate with the community who use it, right, and see like what it works and what we're going to add to it. So I think it's quite an important thing, and we are really happy to have you here to talk all about this. Could you tell us where to find Set Studio and all the information to contact you?
Yeah, we're not hiding. So www.seedstudio.com. Just make sure you have triple E instead of two E's.
That's completely true. And thank you so much for joining us today, Eric. It's such a pleasure to talk with you and explore. I think we have a small time, but I hope we have more time to talk later on at Fab24. And thank you so much, everyone who listened. And we can wait to see how Set Studio continue to shape the maker movement and actually drive technology and allow us to have more tools to create amazing things that actually create impact. So thank you. Thank you so much. No, thank you. And everyone, stay tuned for the next episodes. We have great interviews, ¿verdad, Diego?
Right. And see you in the next one, guys.
Bye.